creatives, you don't actually have to be an entrepreneur. That's what the internet is telling you have to be. That's what everyone's telling you have to be. You got to hustle and all this stuff. But there's actually 3 pathways that you can go down as a creative to make a living off being a creative. And it doesn't have to be an entrepreneur. You don't have to follow that path, that hustle mentality, because things are changing. And I've noticed it. And, while I'm entrepreneurial in spirit and in discipline, I'm not technically an entrepreneur myself. And I'm a very successful creative. And I'm going to jump into my pathway and the other 2 pathways as well in this video. So, hey, creatives, Aimon here, and this is where I help creatives go full time, right? And so, the main thing is that you essentially just have to provide value and you will see value in return, right? You don't have to be an entrepreneur. So, there are 3 pathways, right? First one is an entrepreneur. Second one is an intrapreneur. And the third one is just a content creator, right? And doesn't matter which pathway you take. You just have to provide enough value, over-deliver on so much value, and you will see that value in return, right? Don't have my glasses on, but it looks like I'm in focus. And I picked a great spot, but now the sun's dipped out and half of my face is going to be overexposed for the rest of the video. But I don't care. We're going to keep rolling because I just want to provide you with value, okay? So let's break down all 3 of those pathways. The third will shock you, no. So the first one, entrepreneur, right? It's pretty clear. You are the head of the thing. You are always hustling. You are the one coming up with the ideas. You are the one selling. You're the one with a service to provide, right? So let's say you're a videographer. You're the one calling up real estate agents, calling up businesses, dentists, whoever it is that you target specifically. All about your niche, all about your market, all about marketing, all about all of these things. You know exactly how to deliver that service. I'm just going to pop that ND down a little bit, right? Because it's getting a little bit hot up in here, isn't it? Okay? But we're not cutting. And you're doing everything. Right? You're selling, you've got a system for selling, you have a beautiful website, you're providing the service until you can actually scale, you're focused on scaling. Maybe you're focused on scaling to the point of selling the business. You're very business minded, right? Now, that doesn't mean you can't be creative, but I've seen a lot of people that are very creative that have had to learn the entrepreneur side, or they team up with someone that is an entrepreneur. They get all the customers, they get all the sales, and they're working with the creative, which potentially is you or your business partner, right? And this is the main path that everyone thinks that they need to take. And I've experimented with this path for the last 10 to 15 years. And as I said, I have a lot of entrepreneurial disciplines and habits, and I have the mindset of an entrepreneur as well. But the risk doesn't really suit me in particular. And, there's a lot of creatives out there being an entrepreneur, and I applaud them. And as I said, I've done it, successfully twice, on and off, right? But the risk side of it just doesn't really suit me. And the other thing is, as a creative, if you are full entrepreneur, then your whole life is that thing. If you're running a video business, your whole life is that thing, right? Now, as a creative myself, I'm a little bit ADHD, all that sort of stuff. So I make music, I make YouTube videos, go to the gym, I do all sorts of different hobbies. I love hiking. I love, all sorts of different stuff, right? And I want the freedom in my life to be able to do that, okay? And as an entrepreneur, you are, I have videographer friends who are entrepreneurs, and they're 100% focused on their business all the time. It's front of mind. It's a huge mental load. They're just taking that on all the time. They wake up, they're thinking about their business. They go to bed, they're thinking about their business. Where's the next dollar coming from? Hustle. How am I going to scale this business? How am I going to make more money? And it often is very glamorized. And it seems like a lot of people are making a lot of money in it, but there's not as much money as you think there is in it, And when you get to the point where there is a lot of money in it, you're 10, 15, 20 years down the line, right? You've figured everything out, okay? Now, there's nothing about me bashing this pathway. It's a perfectly good pathway if that's the pathway you want to take. And there's a lot of advantages to it, and you can have that freedom if you're willing to balance, if you charge enough, all that sort of stuff. But the point of this video is that you don't have to do that. This is the thing that everyone's doing, and then the people that are doing it, they want to make sure, because they're in it, right? They're deep in it. They want to make sure that you know that it's it's the best, it's sick, so that they can support their own, they're essentially backing themselves and saying, if you don't do it, then, you're never going to have freedom and all this sort of stuff. And it's just not true, which brings me to the second pathway as a creative is an entrepreneur. Now, I got this word in particular from Your Next 5 Moves by Patrick Bet-David, the book. Definitely worth a read if you're on this journey yourself. I'm not sure if it's technically actually a word, but essentially you're working with a particular established business already as a creative. Now you've got a lot of skills as a creative, and you have a lot of value. As I said, all you have to do is figure out how to provide that value in a very unique way to a particular business. So again, it comes down to choosing a niche, choosing which niche you want to work in. So I'm in real estate, right? And I'm working very closely with one business in particular, okay? And I would do all of their media, and I'm very involved in a lot of their marketing, okay? And I don't have to drum up business because they already have all of their customers sorted. So I can focus on mainly the creative stuff, over-delivering on an insane amount of value to that company. I get to sit down, be creative, spend an hour thinking about all these amazing ideas and then implementing them, have total creative freedom, right? Get paid more than enough. And on the side of that, obviously, I only work within the particular hours that we've decided, right? So I still have freedom in my own life to, when I get home. Don't get me wrong, it's very intense as well, especially at the level that I'm at. It's very intense, okay? But I'm able to manage it in a way which I actually have that freedom in my life, and I can still produce music, go, to Perth and play dubstep shows at music festivals, which is what, the kind of stuff that I'm doing on the weekends. And I just wouldn't be able to think about that if I was fully in my own business. They would just put that stuff to the side so hard, okay? I've got music coming out consistently. I've got YouTube videos coming out consistently, and I get to do all these things, and I feel creatively free to do all these things, and I don't feel the pressure to not do these things because I have such a big mental load on the entrepreneurial journey, right? And I think this pathway in particular is very underrated because I've spoken to a couple of videographers in particular, and just the scope that you can actually provide value is much higher than you think as well. Like you can come in as a video person, but you're actually a video strategist. You can strategize with them and with all of their clients, make all their clients look a particular way, strategize the next 6 months of videos for those clients, and then shoot those videos, execute them, right? There's a bunch of different ways you can come up with how you want to work with that business in terms of how you get paid. Do you get paid per X, or do you get paid a wage, or, do you have targets that you can actually meet and exceed and get bonuses? Or so it's actually unlimited, but you have to think outside the box. But you're good at that because you're creative, right? So it just doesn't have to be this, you get a job and then you're a videographer and you work for that place as a videographer. If you actually step back and go, okay, hold on, is there an opportunity within this role that I can over deliver on value so much that they're like, what the hell? I need to pay this guy so much money, or they're so valuable to me, or something like that. And if there's not, seek out a role in which their potential is, Be bold and pitch that to people and say, hey, look, I'm happy to come on board as this, but my goal is to buy into your company or to over deliver on value so much that within 6 months you'll be begging me to pay me more money. And then we'll figure out another structure in terms of how I work and how I can do this and how I can do that, because I've got a lot of ideas that can benefit you, but I want to build trust with you first. Anyway, we're getting too deep into it, but this is the role of an entrepreneur, and it's underrated as hell. And there's not many people I see are talking about it. Not many people I see are actually in roles like this. And every videographer I talk to, I've got a couple of friends that are entrepreneurial, that are running their own business. They low-key say that they're jealous of my setup. We both have a bit of grass is greener situation. I'm like, oh, I want to run my own business. And they're like, oh, I kind of don't want to run my own business because it's brutal out there, right? So the third pathway is content creator. Now, obviously, this is what we're doing here on the YouTubes, right? And again, there's a bunch of different pathways within this niche in particular. But the idea here, again, is just to over-deliver on value so much that you're either getting so many views or you're getting sponsorships, and to the point where you're actually living off of that art, right? So again, I've got a couple of courses. If you want my DaVinci Resolve setup, check out the link in my bio. I've got a one-on-one. I can help you run your creative business. I actually edit real estate videos for people, just luxury real estate videos. It's pricey, but these are services that I offer through my content creation. And, I've only got however many subs right now, not that many. I don't get that many views on my videos as well. But the amount of money that I'm making off of content creation outside of work and everything else is actually blowing my mind. It's not a lot, okay? But I'm not like tripling down on this like crazy. But this is the third pathway. If this suits you and this is the thing that you want to go hard on completely and only do this, then you can totally do that, So they're the three pathways really, is entrepreneur, intrapreneur, and content creator. And it just doesn't have to be entrepreneur. That's the main point of this video. And I hope you've gotten some value out of this. And if there's any questions you have on this, feel free to let me know, because I would love to chat further about this. And if people have questions about my journey, then I'm happy to let you know. And, if you want maybe tips on how to actually score an entrepreneurial role, wow, it gets tongue twisty there, doesn't it? Then let me know. But yeah, hopefully you got some value, and I'll see you in the next one.